again.
We're going for it now.
We're live again. So we're live again. Welcome back. No one's back yet. It's gonna take them time. They
I'm
might
gonna
be.
need my new thingy soon.
Okay, well, that's right underneath the box by your feet.
Yep. Good times.
One person's back. I hope the chat's working though. I think it might not have been working before, but hopefully it is now. I can never tell. Braising the pipes. Braising the pipes. That's what she does. She's a pipe braiser. Everybody's back. Hi, everybody. Hey, Devon's work. No, I couldn't see your guys' stuff before. So I don't know if I couldn't see him type. Toots is here. Hi, Toots. So, I guess I'd like to continue on with this whole thing about the U.S. death camps.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. So, there's two kinds of homeless peoples or groups. Let's call it groups, because obviously there's a cajillion kinds of homeless. Each homeless person is their own separate kind of homeless person. So,
you know, deep and philosophical.
being
Philosophical.
I'll feel your sophical. So, when people say homeless, what they usually think of is the people on the city streets, the junkies, the mentally disabled, the other kinds of disabled, the sex offenders, all of those peoples. Hey, clearly. And who those other two in the video? So, like I was mentioning before, a lot of us homeless people, we're not just at the whims of fucking charity and shit. We have an income. We fucking survive just fine in normal times when the government's not going goddamn fucking full fucking fascist on
Trying to
us.
leave people like us to die.
What they're trying to do is herd all of the people to either stay inside, and like in places like Nevada, so a good high speed chase. I'm sure that's coming.
Well, you know, there's probably less like street traffic in general.
Yeah. That would totally change the dynamics of a car chase.
Yeah.
It'd be like in the movies. Where there's almost never a car in the way unless they need a gratuitous crash scene. But they've shut down all the public lands, and they're forcing all of us people that normally social distance is a part of our normal fucking life into the cities where all the sickness is. If you look at the maps, you can see that all the sickness is in the cities. Out in BLM land in the small towns, it's not there. No, we are fucking lucky as fucking shit.
Yeah. The fact that we were able to come to my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
Changed everything for us, because I have no idea what we would have done otherwise.
So
we would have been so screwed.
So if you know people that are living in their vehicles and such, especially since you're on YouTube and maybe you see the people or whatever around the country, you gotta let them know. If you're getting harassed by the local sheriffs, you gotta let them know that you're essential travelers. That's Corona speak for homeless living in your vehicle. Therefore, you need a place to fucking stay. And the point of it is to convey to them that you're not a local resident.
You're not just like a weekend camper.
You're not a weekend camper, that you're homeless and you live on public land and that you have nowhere to go. And that if they make you leave, you're going to get in the cities and there's just going to be more dead people and it's their fault. Well, don't say that. But that probably wouldn't really persuade them too well. But
Probably not.
but hey, dude, more dudes are showing up
Hey.
because everybody's not working.
Yeah.
So
Just hanging out. It's a beautiful day here.
yeah.
All spring-like and shit.
So does anybody want the news bulletins, the good and the bad and the uglies? Besides the fact that our government's actually trying to kill poor people intentionally. Because you wouldn't, if the entire point was to keep people socially distanced, you would want your fucking federal lands opened up in your state parks so that people could stay the fuck away from other people. You know, you'd want your homeless people to have a place where they could take a hot shower. State parks have hot showers in my state. Now all the homeless people have nowhere to take a fucking shower. You're trying to fight a fucking pandemic, but you're preventing people from keeping their own fucking bodies clean. Good job, government. You're the reason this virus is the worst in America than anywhere else. The government is actually to blame on this one. It's not us peons that are responsible. Well, you got all the fucking assholes that they're like, oh, the MAGA cult like thinks it's a cult, and the 5G is actually the coronavirus or some stupid shit. um, um, so everything, including war, is slowed down a bit in the world, of course, because oh yeah,
Because, this virus going everywhere.
You might have heard in the news about the Theodore Roosevelt aircraft carrier because the Trump just fired the captain. I think he was a Navy captain. It's different than an Army captain, and sometimes you can be a captain and that's not your rank because there's the captain of the ship.
Sure.
And that's just something that people might not know. In the military, it's all about your fucking rank, right? Until you get into the fucking boat service. Once you get into the military naval aspect, and I was in the Army Navy for a little while, not the Navy, but the Army Navy. But it's whether it's
land Navy.
The actual Army Navy boats. Whether it's the Army, the Navy, or the Coast Guard, or whatever the fuck, it don't matter. Because when it comes to international maritime laws, your certifications mean more than anybody's rank. All right. The positions you're assigned as a crew member on a ship has little to nothing to do with your military rank and everything to do with your Marine certifications. So you will see higher or lower ranking people fucking laying the law down to higher ranking people in a naval setting in the military.
Nice.
Yeah, and serious, and not fucking shitting on that. You got to know your shit if you're in international waters. You don't got room for fuck ups at all. But I don't know what I was talking about, or I do, but I don't know how that related to what I was talking about.
I don't know what you were talking
before. No, a lot of yeah, they did. Reinhard, they fired him for doing the right thing because this is America. It's a fascist, evil shithole.
How dare you do the right thing?
And if you do the right thing, you get fucked. And if you're an evil scumbag, you get promoted. It's just how it works.
That's pretty much Trump's, go-to for on what to do.
Right. So on top of that, the Theodore Roosevelt is not the only aircraft carrier that's non-mission capable right now. Oh, by the way, that captain, after he was fired, tested positive for the virus. So they're seriously trying to silence how bad it is. Pardon my burning out.
I'm sure he'll be dead soon, allegedly by the virus, but it probably won't be that.
The military is stopped reporting on coronavirus casualties within the ranks. I know before that all happened that multiple battalions were quarantined to their barracks before the Pentagon stopped reporting.
Damn love boat.
Uh, but there's a second aircraft carrier that is also not in service due to the coronavirus. So this virus is tearing through the Navy and the Army, probably the Marines because they sleep with the Navy, and
But not the Air Force.
they're not all cooped up together.
So they're all good.
They're probably a lot better off than the other branches, yes. Because guess what? A military fucking naval ship is no better than a civilian cruise liner. It's a goddamn disease trap. Right? You got to figure you have humidity, you got cold marine air. This is
Well, we figure we get humidity in this van just from sleeping here with 2 people
right.
and 3 dogs. And so imagine what, a whole bunch of
But
men breathing in a place is
right.
going to be.
And the army and stuff with the way that lifestyle is, this disease and is probably fucked up the military, and they're totally lying about it. And I think that's why they're doing a bunch of war posturing. They've
Because
also
everybody's actually sick in bed.
yeah, but they've pulled out of all of the small bases in Iraq. They've consolidated all forces. Why? Probably because they have so many sick people, and they needed to consolidate their forces just to provide your regular security details. That's my guess as to why the U.S. pulled out of all the bases in Iraq. They're also sending a lot of reinforcements into Syria because, we've pulled out of there 3 times already since Trump was president.
So really fucking Syria then.
Yeah. Oh, Iran just yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Somebody invaded their airspace and they shot at them, but the aircraft escaped before it could either be hit or identified. So that happened. America devised a new tactic for cyber warfare against the Russians. They've been using drones and P-8 spy planes in tandem, and what they do is that's going to go downhill. I'll get back to that, Reinhard. Don't worry. So what they'll do is the P-8 spy plane will sit way far out in the ocean in international waters. And what they're doing is they're flying a drone into Russian airspace, both in the Crimea and Syria, and triggering the S-400 systems. And what they're doing is they have the drone go in, which forces them to go into active tracking mode, target acquisition. And then the P-8 spy plane is sitting back and is trying to decipher what frequencies the Russian systems are using, and in order to basically, if the Americans are successful on that, they would be able to disable Russian radar systems. So that's happening, or at least the coastal Russian radar systems. It would be a seriously detrimental thing to Russian defenses. No, none of them will, Tits. That's for sure. So that's the thing that America is doing.
People in their beeps.
Yeah. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the fucking world? It's such a mess out there. Oh, the whole China. They went back to not being quarantined or whatever, isolated, and immediately the people stampeded to all the tourist attractions. So I guarantee you, within another week, China's going to be locked back down again with more deaths and stuff coming through. So they're going to probably
rally against our numbers, but they won't make it.
Where's your mask? I got my mask. Um, Israel.
Here's his mask.
No, that's the old one.
Oh.
Well, the new one that I'm not gonna wear. I got good masks. I got a secret stash of N95s. So I don't. I'm kidding. I don't actually have a secret stash.
That's it right there.
That's it. That's all I got. But
So
also,
try not to breathe too heavy now.
folks, a mask alone gives you limited protection when you're going out into high traffic areas or in public and touching things. Yeah, Reinhardt, China's giving medical aid to everybody. While China and Russia are the two main nations that are providing the medical equipment the world needs right now. America,
you have to cover your eyes.
America, Israel, and a couple of other countries like NATO countries, like Western European countries, they're robbing other nations of their medical supplies. What they're doing is, like, say, China will send, like, Italy will order a shipment of medical equipment from China. Now, for whatever reason, that airplane will have to make a layover somewhere in a what do you call that? Like a different country, right? So it'll leave China, land somewhere before it gets into its destination, and at that spot, somebody like the Mossad or the CIA or somebody will transfer all that medical equipment onto a different plane and steal the fucking medical equipment. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's been happening. There's a shadow war right now where these countries are stealing from each other. It's straight up piracy at national scales. So Western civilization is coming apart. Like, while the Eastern civilization is giving free medical supplies to everybody, Western civilization is busy fucking robbing itself to death. Not per se. It's not that China's at war with us, it's that we are at war with China. And when I say we, I mean the billionaire crime lords that own America, not us peons. Because as many things that is wrong with China, they're not nearly as fascist and slave based as us in NATO land. M21. Right. So that's happening. But yeah, you got to wear the mask, some kind of eye protection, and gloves, because if you
and then not touch your eyes or mouth or nose
with your gloves and stuff, and that's the right way to do that. If you don't have all those things on, somebody can breathe on you, and your eyeballs will absorb the virus just as good as if you breathed it. So it'll get into you through your eyeballs. So you got to wear eye protection. No, it's a normal virus. But everybody from China, so China to Iran to Russia, has had their scientific investigators look into the whole chemical weapon thing, and it's not. If there is any possibility, it's been like 3 months now or some shit. If there is any possibility that it was, there would have been scientific evidence. The whole genome's been sequenced, so there's no tell signs of it being designed.
Of course, there is some speculation that the deaths from like last summer that were called deaths
the
from
vaping.
the vape
Yeah,
things might actually have been coronavirus. So it maybe has been around since last summer, or for like a year.
And there's that, and it didn't come from eating bats. It didn't come from a goddamn Chinese chemical lab or biowarfare lab. as best as they can tell, because unlike every single other goddamn pandemic in the history of since we've been tracking goddamn pandemics and investigating them and learning about them, this virus has no patient zero. All naturally occurring virus outbreaks have a patient zero. This is the first time in human history that they were unable to trace this virus to a patient zero. In fact, they found 4 patient zeros in China.
But that could have been from the same animal.
And it's not from, no, it was from the US soldiers. So China, at the same time as they were trying to blame it on that fucking market in China, Wuhan, they had some war military games or Expo or something. And the US forces were in Wuhan. 4 US service members were admitted to ICUs in China with the coronavirus infection, which at the time they probably didn't know that's what it was. It's all fucky. So if it is a bioweapon, it's not from China, it's from America. And I don't think it's a bioweapon per se. I think if it escaped from a lab, like America has the most chemical bio labs in the world, actually. We're Mr. Chemical fucking bioweapons nation, not China. It came from a US lab, not a Chinese lab. There's also suspicion around how, not just in China, but I think it was in Italy too, because they were the second ones to get hit real bad. It's just the way the inspection spread. Like in China, they had beat it, and then it just flared up out of nowhere again.
Well, after they started going back to life as usual.
No, this was way in the beginning.
Oh,
yeah. The original coronavirus outbreak in China was actually fucking dealt with before the whole wave of death happened.
And then the wave of death happened, and it happened again, and again, and again.
But like
a tsunami that just keeps coming back.
Yeah. So there's that. Trying to think what else. Oh, Prince Argon of Turkey quit paying his fucking mercenary terrorist.
Go ahead and share how beautiful this is. It's a diamonds kind of a thing.
A diamond in the rough.
I can't remember what they call it. They call it diamond something.
Well, you threw the box on the floor back there.
Oh yeah. Oh, they just call it diamond.
Yeah. And
they're dabbing diamonds.
And besides, this virus apparently is able to jump between felines and humans, and that has nothing to do with bats. It makes sense if it came from bats, because bats are very closely related to humans, actually, genetically. Our body plans and systems are fairly similar, I do believe. So, oh crap. Never mind. I'm good. So, anyways, I don't know. Questions? Story time? What's going on, folks? Yeah, but this whole staying at home thing in LA County in California just told everybody don't go shopping for a week.
Gonna make some noise here.
Okay. Well, they're flying rats the way I look at bats. Predominantly flying fruit eating rats. But yeah. Apparently in some countries, oh yeah, no, in America the so-called stimulus stuff is actually trying to prevent prostitutes from getting a stimulus check. Oh yeah. Yeah, LA's right smack there in the middle of it all.
Well, if prostitutes aren't getting stimulus checks, just gives them incentive to go suck more dicks.
No, but all the prostitute houses are closed. They can't work is the
Oh,
problem.
sure.
They're actually one of the groups that you really need to give stimulus checks to, and the government's actively trying to fucking make life terrible for as many people as possible. But yeah, it's not about fucking staying inside and hiding. It's practicing good safety habits and hygiene for when you're out in public. Like I wear all that safety gear, and as soon as I get out of a store, I throw my gloves away so that I have clean hands I can touch my safety gear to remove it with. Um, and then I use a new pair of gloves if I have to go into another store. This goes for the gas stations. The gas
We are
station,
getting a little low on the gloves.
yeah,
We're going to need more.
the gas
Hopefully soon.
station across the street from us, they have a attendant out there um, that wipes down the gas pumps after each person goes through, or they were doing that. But if you don't see that, wear gloves, or as soon as you're done pumping your gas, go inside and wash your hands right away. Because let me explain something. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, it's human nature to touch your face with your hands. We do it without thinking about it all the time. So don't pretend like you're not gonna touch your face. You will. That's why we wear the goggles and the face mask and the gloves. So if you're out in public and you don't like wear the gloves, wash your hands after you go in and out of a store or you pump gas or if you go to drop something in the mailbox. Um, take the gloves off right away. And like even with all that stuff, what? I wear a spacesuit. Well, that would be the best option. I am already running for president.
Full body condoms, yo.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I advise everybody to spread the word. If you're tired of this government that's actually intentionally murdering us, you should write in my name too. Because there are no real candidates for president. You get to vote between the rapist and the rapist. That's the way it's going to be.
Yep.
And that's even if voting's real. Like, even if it's nominally real, as in you vote and they count the ballots and the person wins based on the voting, which I can't even believe that. Like what I'm saying is we already know it's rigged and that the people you get to vote for are just rich scumbag criminals. Um, but I don't even know if the voting for the between the two criminals is actually legitimate voting anyway. So it's like at every level, it's not real. Well, Washington's had mail-in ballots for as long as I could fucking remember, and they count the ballots in private locked rooms, not a real voting. Yeah, if your ballots are not counted in public, it's not real voting. If you don't see them counted, you didn't actually vote. That's why you should have to sign your name and social on your ballot. That would end all election fraud concerns ever. Because then you could look and you could just go through the social security numbers. And if anybody voted twice, it would be obvious. If a dead person voted, it would be obvious if you check the social security numbers. Because when you die, you get a death certificate, and Social Security gets that. So they would know if dead people are voting if your ballots had your Social Security number on
it. And if dead people are voting, then Social Security is going to be like, cut, pay up.
Yeah. So there's that aspect of it. But write in Lou Pliskin. Get everybody to write in Lou Pliskin. That'd be so cool. If we could get to like 1%, they'd have to announce it on the news.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that's the only way it's going to work. And I'm not saying it's going to be me. It should be me because I'm the obvious choice here. But it's going to have to be some kind of a write-in thing where everybody knows about it. Everybody writes in the same name. And then when they come back and they rig it and they don't fucking say this person got X amount of the vote and everybody can go, well, I voted for it. If everybody's out there saying, well, I voted for a person, where if we all voted for it, why aren't they counting our votes? And that's how the write-in ballot. That's why I say write my name in. Master of the universe. No, just president of Shanglu. So there you go. And we can change all the titles once I'm in power and everything. I'm going to have to execute a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of public beatings. There's going to be a lot of fucking people released from the prisons. There's going to be a lot of rich people put into the prisons where they'll get gang raped.
So there will still be prisonable offenses.
Yeah, of course. Being a rich criminal scumbag, rapist will make you be in prison. Being a tweaker will put you in prison. And
anything else, it's a beating.
Yeah, right. Because if it's not a capital offense, meaning something where a person is just genetically flawed, they're always going to be criminal. They're always going to rape, murder, rob, stab, extort, bribe, whatever. Those kinds of peoples that are just genetically bad apples, you can't just keep letting them go. You know, you either house them for their life or you put them out of their misery. That's your only two options. Holy shit. Yeah, no, we all know they cheat. Case closed. Epstein didn't corona himself. But that's why I say the best bet is to get as many people. Oh my God. Well, if you like Pornhub, I know that's the Canadian porn. I do X Hamster. I can live without premium content.
Canadian porn, so like they're extra polite.
Yeah. No, but it's really easy to get the free Pornhub if you want to check out the premium and then you can find out everything that you're not missing. It's so cheesy. It's like Sledgehammer with sex, and the sex just ruins it. So like so there's that. Where else was I going? Did I cover everything happening in the world? Probably not, because I haven't been.
There was something else in there. I can't remember what it was.
It's not owned by the small hats.
I forget things a lot.
Yeah, I go with X Hamster because it's on the island of Cyprus, which is a weird place, really, if you look into it. It's a very weird island. How they keep that website running without no one screwing with their servers, I don't know, but they do it.
Guess everybody can just respect the porn.
No, I think it's a like Italian mafia operation, and no one's gonna mess with them because then you'll have Guido coming and slipping some dead horse heads in your bed at night and stuff. Some fishies.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yeah. Richard Gere, the hamster queer.
Pretty sure that's where the name came from.
Hamster. If you don't know the X Hamster, remember it's hamster without the P.
There's no P in the hamster.
Huh? Yes.
The animal, there's no P.
Yeah, hamster.
Okay, but that's not how you spell hamster.
Sure it is. Everybody spells hamster with the P. How are you going to distinguish between the little furry animal and the porn site otherwise? It's What did I do? I don't know what I did. Oh boy.
Yeah.
We do have premium. Wait, no, we have regular open to the public content on Pornhub and Xhamster. My wiener's just out there
I
walking
didn't think
around.
there was anything still up.
It might be. I don't know. That's the
Because somebody
problem.
was asking about it. No, I'm kidding.
Guido pudding horse heads. Canadian spelling. Like, that's what I don't like about the Pornhub, because you make your verified account with Pornhub and they don't give you a way to close out your account. So it's a very deceptive site, very predatory. So I don't truck with predatory sex people. You know, sex should be a totally capitalist affair, none of this predatory shit. But without being in the parks and not being able to go anywhere or do anything really, it's actually getting to us too. So
Yeah, getting a little bored.
I've started trolling the Plenty of Fish again. Oh God, that would. I don't even know if they have a phone number you can call. It's very, very deceptive there though. That's why I like the X Hamster better. They have options where you can make money on there if you want to and stuff, but they give you way more control over your own content. Technically, my account's still active, I think, so uh, I'm uh, officially a porn producer. I'm an official producer of porn because I'm registered.
Right.
Yep. About my last word. No, the dirty clothes. That's a hamper. Hamster. I don't know where we went with this, but it's definitely off the rails.
That's cool, dude.
So the question is, you got all these so-called libertarians and militia people in America and the states' rights and the constitutionalists and stuff talking about how their Second Amendment and they're going to defend freedom in America. I haven't heard a peep from them. They're all staying inside.
Quarantined.
Yeah. Not a word from any of those peoples out there in America land on how the government's gone too far or any of that. Total fucking sheeple.
Because Trump doing a bang up
Oh
job.
God, and it's just getting it by the just so you know, America is number one in infections. We got over double the amount of infections is the next worst nation.
Which is what, Italy?
Currently, Spain's catching up to them, but we've left them both in the dust, man. We are number one in deaths per day for
Woohoo, USA.
Yeah. We for 3, possibly 4 days running, maybe even I don't think it's been 5 yet, but for at least 3 or 4 days running, we've had over 1,000 deaths per day in America. Today was 1,200. Yesterday was over 1,200, I think. And it's not going down, folks. The only thing we're not number one in yet is total number of deaths. We're only 5,000 behind Italy, which is the number one holder.
And we'll surpass that easy.
But their deaths are under 1,000 a day, so we'll catch up with them fairly soon.
Have they even ever gone to over 1,000 a day? I don't think so.
I don't know. 996 was their top death day.
Okay.
Okay.
How you doing?
So it's not so much that our freedoms have been destroyed. We haven't had freedoms. It's all a fucking facade for years now, since fucking 9/11 crap, and even before then. But extremely since 9/11. Um, the whole freedom thing was an illusion. You don't have fucking freedoms. Did you notice any laws from the federal government saying that people can't be out in public? No. Was there a referendum of we the people saying this is how we should behave now? No. There was no vote on this. The billionaires just came out and said, all you fucking slaves, get in your fucking box and stay there until we tell you can come out. That's how America's treating this.
Yeah.
And not just America, but humans everywhere. But humans everywhere aren't growing up told they're the goddamn freest people in the fucking world. So as it turns out, the people that were told they were the freest people in the world turn out to be the least free people in the world.
Funny.
Yeah. Oh, but I mention the good news? Boris Johnson? I thought did I or not?
Not sure.
If I didn't mention that, Boris Johnson is in the ICU on a ventilator. And depending on what statistics you look at, once you hit the ventilator, your chances of living are 50-50 or worse.
I heard chances of living are 20%.
So there's a very good probability we're all going to wake up tomorrow morning to the news of Boris Johnson dead.
So at least the corona's got that going for it.
Yeah. Holy shit. Well, shit like that happens in Walmart all the time.
Huh.
That'll teach you to let Walmart into your country. You're just giving a fucking tweaker convention zone, basically. All these people driving around. You need to get back in their houses.
Get back in your box. Cool. This happens to be a mobile home park, so they're literally boxes.
Yeah. I'll have it at Cuba. Was there anything else? Any questions or comments? Anything? I'm gonna sign off soonish here. We'll try to live stream more often. We're trying. The tables have turned.
Because what else are we gonna do?
Exactly. I mean, the good news is our mobile internet box. I showed it to you before. This is we got Verizon Jetpack. Fucker is awesome. I think we got a defective SIM card and I might have to replace that sooner or later. But other than that, the thing works fucking awesome. Even with the defective SIM card, it's still more reliable than Comcast home internet. So the only downfall is that you're paying for bandwidth, which is a little pricey, but other than that, as far as quality of service, is superior to Comcast by far. And that's a little internet box we're streaming out of it. Oh, let's see what else we got. Yeah, exactly. The van's fine. We're in dire need of fucking brakes. But we're holding out, hopefully, to get a government stimulus check to pay for that. I think we're about halfway to our goal for being able to buy a trailer. I think we're about halfway. If I can put that extra $200 away this month, then we will be halfway.
And if we do get those checks, then we should be able to.
We can get the brakes and buy a camper trailer, and hopefully by then the parks are opened up again. But our airbag light comes on, and I think it's just an old faulty seatbelt sensor. But we're not driving much, so we're going to hold out as long as we can on brakes. I've already fucking resigned myself that the fucking drums and rotors are probably shot. And when I do get the brakes, I'm probably going to have to get new drums and rotors too. So that's like an extra $400 all the way around. Um, yes. And when we get a trailer, life will be better, hopefully. Um, yeah. Oh, just so you know, Washington State canceled schools for the remainder of the school year today. That happened today,
So graduating early.
or late, more likely.
Really, they're not going to just consider this you're done and just move everybody along.
It depends. Well, you won't graduate from high school or anything, but it depends on your situation, I guess. Your credits.
I guess so.
No, we can't afford to sell the van yet. Once we get a trailer and then we get a little more savings built up, it's really going to depend on what's going on in the world. So
Yeah.
if we
This
survive,
might have to be a zombie machine.
yeah, if we survive, you know, and we get the trailer. Now, if the real estate market goes into the crapper the way they say it's going, because like the entire economy is going to the crapper,
Mhm.
if possible, once we get the trailer, we're gonna see if we can afford a piece of land. Yeah, with all these so-called stimulus things for loans and stuff, we should be able to get a home loan.
Maybe.
Now, if that's not the case and we can't find the piece of land, we'll save up money and then we would consider selling the van and buying a truck. Because once we have a camper trailer, we don't really need the van. You know, so we're hoping that we can get a piece of land, preferably with water, power, and septic or sewer, the basics. I don't care if it has a structure on it or not. I just want it to have services. 1,000 an acre.
Hmm.
That's really cheap, actually. Where is land selling for $1,000 an acre? Because that's super cheap.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm hoping at that point that, like, say we can save up and be able to put like 5,000 down on a piece of land or something. I'm then hoping that I can use my VA loan voucher, home loan voucher. Oh well, West Virginia, that explains that. But and get me somewhere between 5 and 20 acres or something like that. Somewhere that's within a half hour of a grocery store and a gas station that we can go into to get like a real grocery store, not fucking Hillbilly Bob's gas and go discotheque. You know,
I love that place.
I can't keep it split. It's ridiculous. Well, yeah, we're gonna be whenever we get land, we're gonna be in the sticks one way or the other. It's just we don't want it to be like way out there. We want it to be reasonably out there because we don't mind having our space and freedom and open spaces to roam about in, but we do like to be able to go in and do the grocery shopping without having to spend $50 on gas. You know, that would make life a little more difficult. Yeah. So there, that I hope that answers that. Well, I haven't seen Melissa or Tanya or
Melissa might be working.
or a couple of other people, but maybe we'll catch them next time. We're a bit earlier than normal.
We're all over the place.
So yes. That's all I got for now. And we'll see y'all next times.
Happy birthday, Jazz.
Hey, I hope I answered all the questions.